Good morning, everybody. Let's get going here. Let me just put this on real quick, and then we'll get to it. A ton to go over, like a ton. It should have worked. There it is. There's your fancy. And let me get your fancy. And do I not have music on? Hold on. There it is. All right. Give me a minute, guys. Sorry, guys. It's an absolutely insane morning, so it is what it is. Sorry for being so late. Let's get rid of that. That's here, and let's get to it. I will try to take questions today. I have a lot that I want to go over with you guys because I think today is like a day where you really got to pay attention. So I'm going to clean a lot of this off, and let's go through some what I think are like the bigger things that you have to really focus on today. You really are going to have to focus on what's going to happen here with NVIDIA and how this holds. So the biggest thing that I can see with NVIDIA is going to be that 55. Now, Morgan Stanley this morning is coming out, and they're loving it. They're like, oh, it's the cat's pajamas. You need to buy it. Look, I have like deep affection for NVIDIA, but when they want out, man, they're going to get out. So you have to be cognizant of that, right? Like when they want out, they're going to get out, and they want out, so they're going to get out. And I really think that you have to kind of wrap your noodle around that. Like, oh, okay, they really do want out of this. And yeah, the answer is yes, they do. So for me, that's a pretty big deal. And I don't really see the reason for chasing that. Now, you have yet to really close under that 55, and you have a huge support at 180 that you can see in here. I do think you have the ability to come in here and like off the open, have some kind of bounce on this kind of stuff. I think you have to be super cognizant of how this is going to play out. And I'm going to try to get more specific for you guys this morning because this is going to be wild off the open. For those that are in the community already, you know that we pretty much not pretty much went to cash except for shorts yesterday. And I'm not doing anything with my shorts. I'm just letting it all burn. Just let it all burn, man. You're better off letting it all burn and sifting through the ashes later than trying to catch the thing that's on freaking fire. Like I don't know why that's so hard for people to get sometimes. So, but if I can give you anything and experience in dealing with this kind of stuff, first off, when everybody thinks the crash is here, it's not. That's the first thing. It doesn't mean it doesn't get worse, but when it's like, oh, it's over, you're never going to know when it's over. There's signs of weakness, and you have to respect that. And you're going through the phase where there's winners and losers. That's what we're doing right now. That's all we're doing. But watch that 80 you're not oversold here. So it's not like we're completely washed out on this thing. And I would, this is a great time for you to use RSI and start going through names that are like, hey, which ones are all washed out down here? Because they're the ones that you're probably going to bounce on first. Now, when I look at something like a NBIS, I really like this name, but man, oh man, when I see something like this, it makes me kind of, wonder. So I don't know. We'll see how this goes. We'll see how this goes today. But something like that, yeah, I'd really like to. I'd like to get involved with this thing, but this can get a lot worse. And Walmart today, and I do own Walmart. CFO or CEOs retiring. They're like, oh, it's down 4%. I don't think it's down 4%. Maybe down 3%. This is the kind of thing that I personally would be looking at today. I would be looking at something like this. This makes sense to me with the CEO retiring, but I think that makes a lot of sense. But I know a lot of people, they don't really like this name, but whatever. I do. I would be looking at that today. I think a lot of people are concerned, about what's going on out there. I think that is an issue. They see him retiring and going, well, this is a really weird time to retire. And maybe, maybe not then, I'm on the bad mic. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. Thanks, John. Because we know the concierge wasn't going to tell me. Job, but I like busting the stones. Hello. Better? Yay. Thanks, John. Thanks for the 47 tags. I wouldn't have seen it without it. These blue light glasses are fantastic. You just can't see out of them. So I don't know. This might be something of interest. What we can do here is really just go and take a look at that wall real quick and see if there's anything here. I can find some levels for you to make some money off of. 100's obviously the big level. You're like, gee, thanks, Captain Obvious. 92 is really where they're concerned about it. I don't see 92 today. This is one of my longer term holdings, candidly. I don't really think that this thing stays down because he's gone. He's not like he was the only guy that worked in the register. So what you probably want to do with something like this is probably just drop a VWAP on it and then see how it acts at that VWAP and then kind of go from there, right? Something like this is going to overreact on a day like today. And that might be something that makes sense to you to try, but you should do it you're comfortable with. I have a bunch of names that I'm shorting. I'll go through some of them. But is this enough panic to get you down and rally you? No, this is nothing. This is nothing. This is like a drop for ants. You can go a lot lower. So I like this. This is interesting. I do want to go through some things that I think are super important. And, on days like today, I kind of get into it a little bit too much because I get concerned that people are going to get freaking walloped. Forget the guys that are talking about the Hindenburg Omen and this and that. You got to get through today. This is what you have right now, and this is what you're dealing with. So you don't want to be thinking about this esoteric crap, right? When Rome's burning, you want to look at it and go, all right, well, what has to hold? This right here has to hold. This is it. This is your entire world. If you start cracking this, right, you start cracking that level, you have an issue. Then from there, you go to the next level, right? And so you extend it out and go, okay, you go from here. And I want to be really clear about this when I show it. This is not small. Like people are like, oh, there's many Head and Shoulders in here. Is one of the gentlemen just joined the community I was talking to this morning about it. Yeah, but there's the mother of dragons Head and Shoulders right here. And it's not a great one, guys. And, I'm not here to tell you everything's going to be okay. I'm here to tell you what's actually happening. And then you make money off what's actually happening. Life gets a lot easier that way instead of trying to be Nostradamus. So if you look at this, like the guys that, oh, I predicted this. You predicted nothing. You didn't even predict what Hot Pocket you were going to eat. So left, head, right. See it? See the neckline? So that's a problem. And if you're long, it's a problem. And I'll explain why. that left weak, like trout-like shoulder that nobody likes versus that big, right, manly shoulder. The right shoulder, when it's more developed than the weak, like trout-like shoulder, that's the problem. You want these reversed. When they're not reversed and you have the stronger shoulder on the right, this, I'm trying not to laugh, but like this can get freaking ugly, like really ugly. And it's simple because all the people that didn't buy here that stayed in, you see the break right from that level. Like this is so, like when I write a book someday, back in the day, right here, that's when this can get nasty. And you've done everything. When I tell you you've done everything perfectly to break hard, man, it's perfect. It's like, it's literally perfect. You've retraced it. Here, watch. But wait, there's more. There's your 50% line, right? Look what happened when you broke your 50% line. I know it's not a fib, but it's very effective in understanding things. Watch when we drop this down. Let's go and drop it like it's hot. I know the kids still say that. So when you start to look at those levels, man, you're hitting them like textbooks. Like it's textbook how these levels are hitting. So the idea that this doesn't break, I have a hard time with it. That's not. I'm not going to be a net seller off the open. That's not what I do. I would actually be looking at being a net buyer for a quick bounce, getting in, out, and then moving forward and seeing if 608 goes or doesn't go. And it's not a coincidence that you really struggled with 608 yesterday. That's 23.6% of the entire head and shoulders. But this is a 5% drop that you're looking at when you measure it out. I think it's 4.8, right? Wasn't it 4.8? No, it's more. I'm sorry. 6. So a 6% drop from there. I still think you have to undercut here, which you could do in a heartbeat. People think you can't get there. You can get there today, man. It's only 2%, 3%. It's nothing. So if you start marking off that 6% from here, what's interesting about that is, look, just from that level, right? To get back to here from that head and shoulders, you're in this area. Like, I don't think that's that ridiculous for you to think about that. TradingView really needs to make this bigger so you can actually see the numbers. But there's 8 and there's 6. So your measured move off of that from there. Now from here, from the neckline, you're down here 560. So, and that's what it looks like. And that would take you right to that support area. Realistically, that's your worst case. 541, I think. Can you do it? Oh, in a heartbeat. In a heartbeat, you could. So just keep that in mind today, right? Just keep that in mind. So I'm not going to get into, is the AI dead? Is it not dead? You have some froth, and they got to work off the froth. And the bond market is scaring the living hell out of everybody. The corporate bond market is starting to scare the living hell out of everybody. And that in and of itself is becoming the problem. So keep that in mind, right? This has got to be, the October 7th low. Like you need to undercut that and see if you're going to hold or not, and then go from there. So keep that in mind, right? That's your big level, and that's what you have to pay attention to. Going through this more macro is definitely better than anything else that you're going to understand like today. The problem you're running in, and let me do it this way too. We'll go through the SPY real quick. And you'll see it. We talked about this yesterday when we broke that level. This is our put wall. People are like, oh, we can't get there. Bro, you're going to be there by 10 o'clock. This is the problem that you're having. And now these VWAPs are starting to point down. There's nothing that I need to do to this chart. It's absolutely perfect the way it is. You just want to watch these levels. What you could do with it, the only thing I would probably add if I really wanted to, is just adding another layer of where all the fib levels are. But I really don't even need to do that, right? It's pretty clear where you're at. It's pretty clear where your areas are. That 670 area, you have your gamma wall here. That put wall is still there. And if that put wall breaks, I'll tell you exactly. Yeah, if that breaks. So if you lose that, your 640s on the table. So if you lose 660, 640s on the table, and that takes you to that October 10th level, takes you down here, 645, we'll say. I don't know that you're going to do that in a day. That's a lot of panic in a day, but you'd have to lose 660.
And I don't know that you're going to, but that's a 3-4% day. Can it happen? In a freaking heartbeat, man. In a heartbeat, that can happen. So what tends to happen with this off the open is you get the people that are buying, and the people that are buying because they expect it to bounce like every other time. But they're not looking at like the, collateralized debt obligations. They're not looking at what the bond market's doing. And that, all these corporate bonds, they're trading at discounts. And we're going to touch base on that because it's really important that you get this. But before we go down that rabbit hole, let's do the ES. And I'm trying to pack this in, guys, because I'm super late. And then I got to get in there today because I got a ton to do. I'm mostly short here, so it is what it is. Actually, I'm net short the trading account. So I'm fine. But, you're going to see some semblance of them trying to hold this today. But that's really how I say it. And I could put other stuff in here too, but I just don't even think it's necessary. Candidly, I really don't. I think if you focused on this and you focused on these levels, this is really all you need right now. And I think that that's going to be the best that I can help you with. I actually also think that you have to go through, if you follow the CTA data, you want to go look at where the CTAs are right today, because I guarantee you that they're going to be net sellers at some point if this doesn't grab. And they're probably going to raise their sell targets too. So Saturday's data and Sunday's data, when the new CTA levels come out for you guys that trade this stuff, you're going to want to watch it. You're going to want to watch it. And it's a big level, guys. It's a big level. So you're going to want to make sure that you hold that, right? Make sure you hold it. I love this stuff so much. Hold on 1 second. I can't do that now. This is pretty funny, though. And this will make me laugh. Hold on 1 second. I got the attention span of a freaking gnat. Don't I? There it is. Perfect. No, that won't work. All right. So you're going to want to watch that. All right. Watch that level. NQ. Did we go through ES levels? Did I do the ES yet? NQ, ES, ES. Let me just keep going. Oh, the camera died. Fantastic. $800 for effing camera. Let's plug in the $20 camera that never dies. Unbelievable. See if that works. Come on, little guy. Add to stage. There I am. Yay. All right. $20. Works like a freaking charm. Exhausting. All in. Come on. You can do it. We got a bond. Am I crooked? Well, that's what you get. That's what we get today. So, all right. All right. We got the bird up there. We got the NQ chart. We got the ES chart. We're ready to go. Let's rock and roll. So we're going to want to watch that level like a hawk. And if you break that level, which it already is telling you that you're probably going to have an issue with it, you're going to want to watch. One of the things you can always do is use RSI and just watch the RSI that seems to be trying to hold that level. Drop it to a 3. It's trying. Drop it to a 5. It's trying. You're trying to hold that level. See the divergence? That's a strong divergence too. So you're trying to hold that. All right, let's see if it holds. Individual names, anything that is like a 2X, I'll just tell you what I'm doing because it's going to be easier. And then I'm going to try to take some questions, but I'm slammed. I'm really slammed. I'm really behind here. Trying to get through all this. So anything that's like a 2X ETF on like these garbage companies like RGTX, APLD, I think there's an APLX. I'm just looking at shorting this stuff. OKLL, I shorted yesterday at 45, 44 and change. I'm up $12. I'm doing nothing with it, like nothing. I don't have time to get into how these are calculated. But you're going to have to look into it. I'm going to try to take questions super quick. Like super quick. I don't care about the recession. I care about today. If you need a Discord invite, Chip, and you're asking me, you're asking the wrong guy, brother. On that email, on that welcome letter, there is a there's an email. I have a whole department that handles this stuff because you don't want me handling it. Believe me, you don't want me handling it. So I'm going to just grab this. And copy it. And then what I'm going to do is I think I'm going to make a new one. Hold on. So that I have click save. Can I make a new? Let's just go to this one. We'll edit this one out. And we'll paste that in. And I'll put these in here. Okay. Hello. GTX. BABX is another one I'm short. IONL. MSTY. MSTX I shorted. I'll just show these out there. So if you have any issues, I'm going to reach out. Where'd you go, Chip? Where are you, brother? Hold on. Stay with me. Email him now because you got to get in now. Yo, check your email, homie. The kids still talk like that, right? I keep telling people I'm cool. All right, he's on it. He's on it, Chip. He's waiting for you, buddy. Can we buy puts? You can buy puts on them. You can buy calls on them too. They need to email you. He's waiting for you, Chip. I short them and then I buy protective calls against them so they don't rip my face off. I have found that to be the best way to do it. You should do what you're comfortable with. So, yeah, the thing is, they're selling everything, Adrian. Bro, how much time do you have? You want to go through my issues? I can give him the name of my ex-wife. Yeah, there you go. There it is. Thank you. Yay. But that's the problem. If they're selling gold and silver, they're getting out of everything. They're saying risk off, cash is king, get me in a money market account so I can figure out what is going on. You know, that's what's so interesting about like Bitcoin and MSTR here to me. To me, this thing's in a ton of trouble, like a ton of trouble. That's a major, major break. And you're going to really want to watch this morning. Thanks, John. I'm getting there, buddy. We're getting there. I got a ton of crap to go through. You can, but I make more money. So go look at it. I do both. You're welcome, brother. Sorry you had the issue, but the demand was overwhelming and those things are limited on purpose. Because I make more money because when that ends, I got to figure out how to turn the banner off now. There it is. Yay. All right. So here's why. And we'll do a quick lesson. When this ends, my expense ratio is going to bleed out through every orifice. Your expense ratio is going to bleed out as well, right? Your expense ratio is going to bleed out as well. If I go sideways, you're going to bleed. If I go sideways, I'm going to take money in because of the way that these things are calculated. It's why when the market drops, I don't buy SQQ. I'll do futures or options, but I also short the bejesus out of TQQ because I know it's going to take longer. And here's the thing about it. When we bounce like 10%, Now, if we bounce 10% in RGTI, or let's say we're going to bounce 5% in RGTI, my 5% here is going to be like nothing now, right? What's it going to really be? It's going to be like 10%, $6. Like, who cares? Tomorrow, if this thing bounces 10%, I'm back to 75. If you bounce 10% here on this, you're going to get slaughtered. You're going to be down to like $22 in a heartbeat. So I'm actually using the expense ratio and the way that they put the thing together against them. And if you look at it historically, right, of going like long RGTZ, right? Like if you look at it together, going like RGTZ here, we'll leave that on. Let's do it this way real quick. RGTX. This is really interesting. Well, it is to me. And right. So then we go and look at that and go, all right, let's turn this into a line. Okay. Okay. And then we'll just drop it to like a 15-minute chart. We'll get rid of this and we'll go back to inception. All right. So there's inception, right? And if we said that we're going to go long this one or short this one, who made more money? I did. Right? Same outcome. Who made more money? I did. Okay. Same exact time. I shorted this. I made 76% or 78%. You made 56. Why? It's got nothing to do with the movement of the stock. It has everything to do with how that is being calculated. These secondaries, these ETFs, 2X ETFs, they shouldn't even be illegal, dude. They really shouldn't. People have no idea. I had no idea how they were calculated until I looked into it and I read a paper on them. That's why. Let's try and get through some of this stuff as fast as possible. Sorry, John. Sorry, guys, I came in early. I'm just freaking slammed. Who knows? There's always commies. The communist socialist countries, empty shelves, no hot pockets, full sleeves. New York City's dark right now. I know it's a war zone up there. I laugh because I'm friends with this guy. Takes pictures, and I became friends with him like on them internets. He takes pictures like showing how awesome New York is. It's really kind of funny to me. Thanks. Maybe sometime in the crash. I think so too. Yeah, I don't know what they're doing, what Lulu's doing. That's what I'm saying. Nobody wants that coming at them. No lady's like, oh, I really like his short little trout shoulders. Netflix, I wouldn't go near. They make a Philly cheesesteak Hot Pocket. You know that, right? You know that. They do. There's a Philly cheesesteak Hot Pocket. You just got to find them. Bum, 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 bum. No Lisa? No Happy Friday? There were some upgrades. I fixed it. Yay. I think it could help them. Pop goes the weasel goes pop, but I don't know it's going to help everybody. But I really don't. What's up, Mom? What's up, Tariq? Yeah, bro. Someone yesterday bought like $54 million at the, like they bought $54 million worth of puts yesterday, like for a week. And as soon as I saw that, I was like, oh boy. Okay. So let them wash everything out. I think that it boils back to the fact of never let a crisis, find an opportunity in every crisis. I'll leave it at that. Come on. That's what I personally think. What's up, Steve? I haven't seen you forever. What'd you do? You got rid of the Harley photo and the girlfriend photo or wife photo now. Maybe that's why we got rid of the Harley. It does look good. I don't know, man. I'm like the worst at this, bro. Like the one thing that I'm awful at is the rotation. Like the rotation into XLP names because we're crashing. Like I never do it. I just go to cash. But you could see that the XLP names could rally because of it. 100% they could, Steve. You could be 100% right. I'm just going through this real quick, see if there's anything I got to hit before I really go. VA levels, I would just stay away, dude, today until you get set. Like, I don't think there's anything here that you want to play with, dude. Like, I really don't feel that way. You know, Kev, like, you're going to just want to make sure that you hold. That's really all you want to do is make sure you hold and go from there. I don't think it's too late, bro. It's just here, just pick one. Like, I really don't think that this stuff's too late. Like, I wouldn't be shorting PLTR, you know, like wait for it to bounce and start shorting PLTU, like start shorting the real stuff. But then you have to think about it too. Like, are they going to cover going into the weekend? You know, they might. So today could be pretty violent. You could see a big bounce out there, but 100% you could see a huge bounce out there. But all right, man, I got to jump.